Nietzsche's ideas can be challenging and controversial, but they also offer a profound invitation to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. Let's dive into the ideas of this great philosopher. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to talk about Friedrich Nietzsche. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Now let's get started. The death of God. God is dead, and we have killed him. With this shocking declaration, Friedrich Nietzsche shook the foundations of philosophy, religion, and morality. But what did he really mean? Born in 1844 in Prussia, Nietzsche was a gifted scholar who began as a classical philologist, someone who studies language and literature. But as he dug deeper into ancient texts, he felt something was missing. Words and myths couldn't fully explain the depths of human life. So he turned to philosophy, questioning the nature of existence, knowledge, and morality. His journey wasn't easy. Nietzsche battled illness, loneliness, and a relentless search for truth. Yet out of that struggle came some of the most revolutionary ideas in modern thought. The problem with herd morality? Now let's delve into one of Nietzsche's most critical observations. The problem with herd morality. In simple terms, Nietzsche argued that traditional morality, heavily influenced by religion and society, was holding people back. It was making them weak and obedient. He called this mentality herd morality because, just like sheep, they followed rules without questioning them. They didn't think about why certain things were right or wrong, they just did what they were told. But why was this a bad thing, according to Nietzsche? Well, he believed that by blindly following rules, people stopped using their brains, their strength, and their creativity. They became like robots programmed to do the right thing. Nietzsche thought this kind of life was not only pointless, but also a betrayal of our nature. You see, he believed we were born with a powerful force inside us, a will to power. This isn't about dominating others, but about rising above limitations, creating and living life to the fullest. When we follow herd morality, we stifle this will. We don't explore our potential or take risks. We just stick to what's safe and comfortable, embracing the will to power. So how should we deal with this problem? According to Nietzsche, we need to replace herd morality with a stronger set of values, a morality based on our will to power. That means asking tough questions, thinking for ourselves, and taking responsibility for our actions. It's about recognizing that there may not always be an obvious right or wrong, but that we can make our own choices and deal with the consequences. It's not easy, but Nietzsche believed it's worth it because it leads to a richer, more meaningful life. Will to power and the Superman. Now let's talk about one of Nietzsche's most famous concepts, the Superman or Übermensch. Don't let the name fool you. This isn't about someone with superpowers or someone who looks down on ordinary people. Instead, the Übermensch represents a higher form of humanity. It's someone who doesn't just follow the crowd or obey rules blindly. They create their own meaning and live their own way. This person doesn't need to be told what to do. They already know what's important. They take charge of themselves and create their own values. The Superman embodies the will to power in its best form. They use their creativity and strength to make something new and beautiful out of the chaos of life. But how do we become more like the Superman? Well, Nietzsche didn't give a step-by-step guide, but he did offer some clues. It starts with self-awareness. We must first understand our own strengths, weaknesses, and desires. Then we need to take action based on what we find. That might mean trying new things, taking risks, or challenging the status quo. But remember, the path to becoming more like the Superman isn't easy. It often goes against the grain of what society expects. There will be times when you feel alone, misunderstood, or tempted to give up. But if you truly want to live a life that reflects your own values and meaning, then you must keep going. Reframing suffering. Speaking of challenges, Nietzsche had a unique perspective on suffering. He didn't believe we should try to avoid it or find ways to make life easier. Instead, he saw suffering as a necessary part of the human experience. In fact, he believed that suffering could make us stronger and more creative. Think about it. When life is easy, we might not put much effort into solving problems or finding solutions. But when faced with challenges, we're forced to dig deep within ourselves to find the strength and creativity to overcome those difficulties. This process, according to Nietzsche, can change us for the better. It helps us grow and mature in ways that we might not have thought possible before. Nietzsche's famous quote, "What does not kill me, makes me stronger," sums up this idea perfectly. It's not about seeking out suffering, but about embracing it when it comes and using it as fuel for growth and self-improvement. Eternal recurrence. Another mind-bending concept Nietzsche introduced is eternal recurrence. Imagine living your life over and over again, repeating every moment, every decision, and every consequence for eternity. On the surface, this might sound terrifying, but Nietzsche wanted us to consider it seriously. Why? Because he believed it could help us evaluate the quality of our lives. Let's say you've had a tough day. Maybe you failed an exam or lost something important. In these moments, it's easy to complain, feel sorry for yourself, or simply wish for things to be different. But what if you thought about your life through the lens of eternal recurrence? What if you imagined living exactly this day over and over again for all eternity? Would you still feel the same way? Would you still complain and wish for things to be different? Or would you start to appreciate the situation for what it is, seeing it as an opportunity for learning and growth? That's the idea behind eternal recurrence. By considering the possibility of living our lives infinitely, we can gain a new perspective on our current experiences, helping us appreciate and improve our lives in the present moment. The challenge of nihilism. So we've discussed some of Nietzsche's key concepts, but it's essential to understand how they fit into his larger philosophical system. Nietzsche was acutely aware of the problems that arise when traditional sources of meaning and value are questioned or discarded. He saw the danger of what he called nihilism, which occurs when people lose faith in existing values and fail to create new ones. This can lead to despair, meaninglessness, and a lack of purpose in life. That's where the ideas we've talked about come into play. Concepts like the death of God, the will to power, the Übermensch reinterpretation of suffering, and eternal recurrence are all part of Nietzsche's attempt to address the issue of nihilism. He wanted to show that while we may no longer rely on traditional sources of meaning, we still have the ability and the responsibility to create our own. Nietzsche's legacy. In the end, Nietzsche's ideas can be challenging and controversial, but they also offer a profound invitation to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. Despite facing personal tragedy and mental illness, he left behind a body of work that continues to influence writers, thinkers, and even movements around the world. Nietzsche's works challenge morality, religion, and culture at their core. From the birth of tragedy's vision of art and chaos, to thus spoke Zarathustra's call for the Übermensch to beyond good and evil, and the genealogy of morals dismantling traditional values, his writings push us to confront a world where God is dead, and meaning must be created by ourselves. Whether you agree with all of Nietzsche's ideas or not, there's no denying the impact he's had on our understanding of existence, morality, and the human condition. In his final years, Nietzsche's brilliant mind collapsed into madness, and he lived the rest of his life under his mother's and sister's care, passing away in 1900, leaving behind a legacy that still shakes philosophy today. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit the like button and share it with your friends. Remember to subscribe so you never miss out on our latest videos. Have a great day, and see you soon.